I bow to all the seekers of truth. At the very outset, I have to tell you that truth is what it is. You cannot describe it, you cannot conceptualize it, you cannot purchase it. It has been, it is, and it will be. Now, whatever I am going to tell you today, please do not believe me blindfolded. We have had lots of problems with blind faiths. But accept it as scientists with open mind and heart, like a hypothesis, and if it is proved, then you must accept if you are honest. Because it is for the benevolence of your being, for the benevolence of your society, of your cities, of your countries, and of the whole world. So the truth is that you are not this body, this mind, these conditionings, these egos, but you are the pure spirit. The another truth is that there is a subtle, very powerful, very dynamic, all-pervading power of divine love that does all the living work. Your country is full of beautiful flowers. We see them, but we take them for granted. They are definitely a miracle. How it works, we never even think. Who runs our heart? We don't even ask the question. We are not bothered about anything that is living process. If you ask the doctors, they'll say it is autonomous nervous system. But who is this auto? We never question why are we on this earth. This question cannot be answered by science. It has its own limitations. So we are here to find out the answer to these questions tonight. As it is, we have been told about the subtle system that is within us. That also, please don't take it for granted. You have to see for yourself, find out for yourself, and then only accept it. Because the time has come to prove all the eternal truths. This is a special time. I call it the blossom time, but in the scriptures it is described as the last judgment, in Quran as Qiyamah, in Sanskrit is described as the evolutionary, as they call it, the evolutionary end or epitome, ending into evolutionary process that you become a spirit. In Sanskrit they call it Nirvana. That's what it is. What has to become of you now is that you have to become the spirit. Every scripture has described it. But we don't see that, we do not follow the scriptures. We brand ourselves as something like Hindu, Christian, Muslim, this, that. It's just branding. This religion is not within, is not innately. Anybody who may belong to any religion can commit any sin, can be violent, can be extremely unreasonable, and could be absolutely anti-religion. So we see a paradox in our life. The whole culture seems to be paradoxical. And it is really shocking that we don't see what's happening around us. Terrible things are happening. Human being is becoming worse than an animal. What is happening to him, we don't understand. But there's an attack of the negative forces on the human mind. And the way they are behaving nowadays, if you read the newspaper, you can't sleep for the whole night because you can't understand these human beings. How they are behaving towards each other, towards their own children, towards their wives, husbands, very, very close relationships. What's the problem with them? Why don't they feel the love? Why don't they have that capacity to feel another person within themselves? All this was to happen perhaps so that people start seeking the truth beyond the mundane things, to seek the reality. What is the reality? But when we try other things and we fail, we try to come to religion, and sometimes we go to false gurus also. Now the religions, instead of becoming spirit-oriented, they have become power-oriented or money-oriented. God doesn't understand money. How can He understand money? It is your headache. He doesn't understand money, He doesn't understand banks, He doesn't understand anything. So how can you pay for anything that is divine love? But people think that by paying you can even purchase God. And that's how people have been misled by many. By many organizations, they call themselves in charge of religion or some gurudom or something. This power, which is in the triangular bone, is within you. And the Greeks called this bone as sacrum. Sacrum in their language means sacred. So they knew about it that this bone is sacred. And there's something sacred about this bone that works out something sacred. Of course, this knowledge was known to Indian people long time back. But it was kept a secret for so many days. And one master used to give realization, only one person. At the time of Shri Rama, his father-in-law was a well-known person for giving realization, but he gave realization so far known to one person, Nachiketa. It was kept a secret, and that's how this tradition went on from one to another in different places. In the 12th century, only a great poet called Gyaneshwara, he asked his teacher that he should be allowed in his book, Gyaneshwari, mention of Kundalini and description about it. He did it in the 6th century, 12th century, these things. But in the 6th century also, we have people who have described about it in Sanskrit language. He wanted to do it in Marathi language, which is a local language, and he did it. But the people who were in charge of religion said, this is a wrong thing, this you should not read, it's not good, all kinds of things, so they just banned that knowledge. This was the sacred knowledge, most precious knowledge, which was banned to people. But in the 12th century, this happened, and it had a very good effect because 16th century in India we had lots of poets, great prophets like Guru Nanak and all that. They talked about it. They said there is this Kundalini which has to rise, but they wrote it in books which were poetry. In the poetic language, people just took all, we can say, not the correct meaning of it, and they interpreted it according to their own understanding. Moreover, they just started reading the book. By reading the book, you cannot go anywhere. All the books, even scriptures in English or in Indian languages or any language, are just like prescriptions. Prescriptions to what to get. If there is a prescription that you take such a medicine, you go on reading, take such a medicine, take such a medicine, your headache cannot be cured. For that, you have to take the medicine. In the same way, it happened everywhere. People started reading books, and this bookish knowledge left them nowhere because they got lost in the web of words. And that's how all the problems started. Now, if you ask a Muslim gentleman, he will tell you one story. If you ask a Christian, he'll tell you another story. If you ask the Jews, they'll tell you another story. They all think they are chosen ones. But are they? They have to ask themselves. So we should not blame the religions for that. But we lost the essence of the religion. And the essence of every religion is, surprisingly, is the same. That you are to be born again. Now, somebody can even call you born again. By calling yourself born again, you cannot. The other day in Sydney, there were some people standing, shouting, screaming like, see, hawks. They said, we are born again, born again. I said, you are not, I'm sorry, see your faces. You look so haggard and so violent. How can you be born again talking of Christ? Talking of Christ. Is this the way you have no connection with Christ? You can see clearly, at least don't malign his name by your faces. You can see how horrible you look. So they started thinking. I said, go and see the mirror. You'll be amazed. They had so many wrinkles here, wrinkles here, wrinkles here. I said, I'm a 71-year-old woman, while you people are at least like my grandchildren. And the way you look, I can't believe it, you have anything to do with Christ. Why do you want to malign his name? How do you think God is with you because you have branded yourself as born again? There are many like that. There's no end to it. But they don't want to understand that just by professing something or claiming something, you don't become. You have to be. Supposing I say, I am the governor of this place. Do I become? I don't. I have to be. So that is what is, we have to understand, we have to be born again means a self-realized personality. We don't know anything, I tell you, the deeper sense of what is written in those scriptures. We don't know that in every line there's another meaning, which is very deep because it's poetry. So the essence of every religion is that you have to be self-realized. Means you have to have self-knowledge and you have to be the spirit. It's written clearly. It is written clearly everywhere. It's not that I am telling you this. You read Quran, it's written like that. You read Jews' books and things like that, the Old Testament is there. Bible, Gita, Ramayana, anything that you want to read is the essence comes to one point. But this is the trouble is. We think that by reading these books we'll achieve something. Nothing. You will just achieve a kind of an ego that you know everything. You will start telling big stories, giving big sermons. But in character, if you see, in your own being, you will find there is no divinity. Divinity should show on your face, in your body, in your behavior, in everything, because it's a power. Divinity is a power. It is not just claiming something, I am this and that, but it's a power. And that power is within you. This is your own power which has to manifest. It is within you, in everybody, whether you are Chinese, Japanese, Indian, or New Zealander, anybody, This power is within you as shown. And if this power could be awakened, if it passes through these 6 centers and you become one with this all-pervading power, then only you can understand that your spirit now has been enlightened. And it is acting in your attention. So far, our attention is divided. Firstly, we do not know the absolute truth. Somebody says this is good, somebody says that is good, somebody says that is good. They're fighting all the time. Fighting for what? Fighting for falsehood. And where do they end up? And also, I must say that books might have been corrupted by some people. People don't like to say that. But I think so, like Mr. Paul, who is in the Bible. I was surprised. I asked my father, who is this Mr. Paul? So he told me he's a squatter. And I could see clearly, he is a bureaucrat who wanted to have the platform, nicely came up giving big ideas. I met Christ, this happened, that happened. And whatever he writes is nonsense. Khalil Gibran has written a big chapter on him, that this man, how is he in Bible? And in that, you see, this gentleman has spoilt the whole face of Christianity, otherwise we would have been somewhere something much better. Firstly, he hated women. So he never wanted to talk about the primordial mother. Never. There's a Father, there's a Son, and a Holy Ghost. Finished. He hated women. And he created such a problem for the whole Christian nations. Now what I find, that's impossible to make men and women join together really in love. It's just certain romantic ideas that work up and then finished. Not only that, he has harm in a much worse way. For example, he said that if you are buried in the ground, then at the time of resurrection, your body will come out and it will get resurrection. Now tell me, how absurd is this thing? How can you accept such an absurd thing? Christ never said so. There's so many things that we have taken to the other end of stupidity because we also want to use it for our own purpose. But Christ could never have said such a nonsensical thing that your body can be brought out from the graves and will be given the resurrection. On the contrary, in Indian scriptures there's a sensible thing written that your souls will take birth at this time. Your souls. And there will be population growth. For this judgment, your souls will take growth. So today you are here because your souls have taken birth for the last judgment. Which sounds much more logical, sensible, and has worked. And it is so much carried so far that I met one Muslim from Bosnia who came in a very bad shape. I asked him, why are you fighting for this land? See, you should fight for your spiritual ascent instead of this nonsensical land that you are fighting, killing each other. The answer came that no, in Quran it is written. I don't think I've read Quran this. I have not seen it, but maybe. I don't know. I must have missed the point. Because again it's a poetry. That when you die, your body will come out of graves, and at the time of resurrection, you will get your realization or kiyama, they call it the resurrection. When you will die, then you should put your body in the graves, so it is intact. Is it intact? If you die in the name of God, that's why we are dying in the name of God, and we'll get resurrection. I said, very nice. Use your brains. Those people who are dying there are eaten by their friends. Their friends are cooking them and eating them how are they going to get their resurrection? I mean, it cannot be so illogical. So this kind of idea is working in many things, and we blame the Christians will say that Muslims are bad, Muslims will say the Hindus are bad, and Hindus will say the Jews are bad. Everybody is bad. But if we introspect, we should know what did we get. Did we get our self-realization? Did we get our second birth by going to these places, to reading these books? Nothing. It was just an indication how you should behave till you get your resurrection. Now, resurrection is not something that is coming from outside, but within you, it is there, your right to get it. Sahaja. Saha means with, ja is born. With you is born the right or the birthright to get this union, the yoga, with this divine power. Now with the word yoga also people get frightened because it's coming from India. Why should you be frightened after all? From where did Christ come? Did he come from New Zealand? One lady was talking to about Christ as if he was a New Zealander. I said he was not. He was a Jew. So from wherever knowledge comes, we should accept. From wherever our help comes, we should accept. We should not condemn somebody because we have some ideas about it. For example, science is coming from, say, America or from you people, from anywhere. One has to accept. If this is for your good, why not accept it? And see for yourself if it works out, if it helps you. I don't know how far you has told you about this, but when the Kundalini rises, she enlightens these centers, these energy centers, and pierces through your fontanelle bone area, and then ultimately you feel the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost on your hands, the all-pervading power on your fingertips. It's described in Quran clearly. That's your hands will feel the cool breeze. And that your hands, your fingers will give witness against you. It's clearly, I should say Muhammad Sahib has done a great job. Whatever he's done is undone by his followers in every religion. I would not say only him. But thanks to the ignorance of people, that's such a great thing, and he has written one big chapter on the resurrection. Despite all this, despite all these indications, we still adhere to something because we were born in this. We were given this from childhood, the conditioning in our heads. What we have to say, are there saints nowadays in India? Are there saints in other places? Do you find anybody saintly, really, in this real sense of the word? We don't. And if the time has come for you to get your resurrection, to get your realization, why not take it? Because by that, you will be surprised, these centers which are your energy centers, which are responsible for your physical, mental, emotional being within yourself, which are responsible for all kind of collective activity like political, economic, everything. Because most of the problems come from human beings. And these problems that come to human beings come from their centers when they are in jeopardy. So these centers have to be corrected. And if they could be corrected, if you could understand what's wrong with your centers, and if you know how to correct it, you become your own master. Not only that you become your own master, but also you become so knowledgeable that you can help others. As a result of that, what happens that you start feeling the centers. These are all sympathetic centers. Thank God, medical science has reached that much point. All these centers you start feeling. And these centers, when you start feeling, You know what's wrong with your centers on your fingertips. You know what's wrong with others. Because first you get self-knowledge and then you become collectively conscious. This is a new dimension into which you come in. But the great thing that happens to you to begin with is that your attention can stand in the present. For example, I say you pay attention in the present now. You cannot. Either you are thinking of the future or the past. The mind is jumping on the cusp of the future or of the past. You are jumping on. In between those thoughts, there is the present. When the Kundalini rises like that, when she passes through that, what happens is that these thoughts elongate and the space between them, the pause between them, which is called as vilamba, is established, and you become thoughtlessly aware. You are thoughtless but aware. That is the present in which you really spiritually grow. You establish that new state, which we call as nirvichar samadhi, and you become absolutely silent, peaceful. That's how the peace within is established. Now, as with my husband, I've met many people who have peace awards and peace organizations and this and that. But they are so hot-tempered. You can't go near them. You have to take a barge pole to talk to them. It's horrible. You just can't talk to them. They just jump on you. What's the matter? After all, I asked somebody, what's the matter with this gentleman? Why is he so haughty? He said, because he's got peace award. I said, very nice. What a paradox. So the first of all, we must establish our peace within. That happens, then we start watching ourselves. As if you are standing in the water, which is turbulent, and you are frightened of getting drowned. But if somebody puts you on a boat, you can watch. And then from the boat, if you know how to swim, you can go down and save others also. It's just like that what happens to a person when he gets his self-realization. First he starts watching all the problems. When he starts watching all the problems, he knows how to solve them also. Because his attention is enlightened. Wherever he pays attention, the problem is solved. It's very miraculous for us, the human beings. Absolutely, the divine power is so miraculously acting once you are connected with it, that it is unbelievable how it acts. This all-pervading power is the ocean of knowledge, and the ocean of blessings. Blessings are so many that whenever these Sahajogis meet some problems so they have, and they write to me, Mother, how it was solved in no time, I don't know. How I met the right man, how it worked out. How my health improved. You see, there was one girl who had, they said, meningitis. I said, just pray, she'll be all right. And next day the news came, she's all right. It is working out, I must say. It is working out. But these blessings come to you only when you are one with the divine power of God's love. Otherwise it will not. Sometimes you feel that God has been blissful, He gave me this, He gave me that. But these blessings come to you from something very unknown. And you feel so amazed at how these things have worked out. So it is the ocean of blessings. Believe me, it is. Then the third thing is that it is the ocean of compassion. Such a person becomes extremely compassionate. And it is the ocean of dynamism. Such a person also becomes absolutely dynamic. I have known of so many artists who came to Sahaja, especially from India. Today they are world famous. All over the world they are known to be great artists, and they always say about me that this is Mataji's blessing. I said, don't say that. This is your own power. Because if the power passes through these centers. It gives you creativity, because all your powers of creativity have been very little so far, which are just enhanced to manifest. Not only that, so many other things happen that it's surprisingly, I've seen people who were supposed to be extremely dry, never knew the language very well, have suddenly become poets. But this is just, I would say, the temptation of the mother for you. The main thing that happens to you is much more. And the main thing that happens to you is that, apart from your health being cured, of course, that I should have mentioned, because we have 4 doctors now in Delhi who have got their MD in Sahaja. They have cured asthma, epilepsy, other things. But blood cancer has been cured. So many diseases have been cured with this happening, without going to the doctor, without spending all the money for the hospitals, nothing. Just your own power. I mean, it's nothing to do with me, just within you. It all works out. Only thing is, it's like a seed being planted in the Mother Earth. And it sprouts by itself, spontaneously, Sahaja. In the same way it happens. You also get this power, your own power, to rise, and that makes you something special. It is all your own. And you don't have to pay for it. I mean, how much do we pay to the Mother Earth for doing that, to the seed? Both of them don't understand money, so what's the use of paying them? Something like that. It's all your power within yourself, and you get it in no time. But somehow or other, I think, maybe I don't know what to say. In the West, they get more impressed by people who are really false. Because so many gurus went around and minted money. They had thousands and thousands and thousands of disciples. I was amazed how they take to falsehood so easily. Telling us, this man lynched us, we have no money, mother, our house is sold, our children are out. Why did you do it? Because he said, you see, this will happen. What will happen? You should go and see the disciples, how they are. Find out from them. Have they got something or not? I mean, you shouldn't just go like a bulldozer, all of you going on to a man and getting yourself killed. Is something stupid. But this stupidity has been done everywhere, but more in America. While Russians, I must say, are tremendous people. You will be some ways. They had a very bad government, communism, this, that, you can condemn it. But they are wonderful people. At least 70% of them are really very introspective, very good people. Wherever I go, I at least get 16,000 people, minimum of 16,000. And they have thrown away all the false gurus from there. Nobody can stay there, even their government. And the recognition they have for, I was surprised. How do they have recognition of something that is really the truth? We should not play about with falsehood. It's stupidity, nonsense. And if you have done that, not only that you have given them money, but also you have spoilt your kundalini. It's very common. All kinds of people, even in the West now, so many gurus have come up. All money-making propositions. First they'll have an introductory lecture, and then nice, you go there, and then you better pay out of. If you have to pay for it, then no, that is not so. Of course, people had to pay for this hall, I must say. Hall they have to pay. They must have got some money collected among themselves, and they must have paid for a hall. But for your self-realization, how can you pay? This is what is to be understood, that you can't pay for truth. Once you understand this, you will cancel out all nonsensical things that are going on. It is too precious. It is too precious, you cannot pay for it. So now we come to the fact that all these centers are cured, integrated and nourished, enlightened. Our attention becomes enlightened. And wherever we pay attention, the attention acts. You know the absolute truth also, on your fingertips. Now, if somebody, some cheat, or somebody who is released from the jail, I tell you, all of them have no place in Indian society. So they wear these dresses and come down to New Zealand, or to Australia, or to America. Also to France, especially in Germany. And now they are going to Japan. I mean, they take a ticket to go there. Because they have no place in India. So they come here, sit on your crossroads and get all the money from you. So now one has to understand that with knowledge of this absoluteness, absolute, Param Satya as they say, absolute, means everybody sees the same. There's no quarrel, fight, argument, nothing. You just feel the same thing. If you all feel the same thing from one person, then you will know what's wrong with that person. You can make out what sort of person he is, what problems he has, what he's doing. It's very easy. Apart from that, you can make out what is his physical, mental, emotional problem. Because you become collectively conscious. This is the second dimension you develop, is that you become collectively conscious. You become again. It's not somebody tells you, but you become. You just, even children can tell you on their fingertips. Such powers you have. In the second stage, I mean, mostly people reach the second stage very fast, but sometimes they don't. That is what we call is Nirvikalpa Samadhi, where it is, there's no doubt. You know your powers, you are empowered, you have every knowledge, everything, and you can cure others, you can give them realization. You can do it. Like one enlightened light can enlighten another light. So once you start getting Sahaja Yoga as a complete modeling of your life, what happens? A beautiful society is created all over the world. Now Sahaja Yoga is working in 62 nations. 62 nations. And these people come to India, live there. I have never seen them fighting, quarreling, abusing, never. Now this has been going on for the last 25 years. But such love, such tender feelings, such pure love that exists. We don't have somebody's wife runs away with somebody else, somebody's husband runs away with, nothing of the kind. It's very pure love. This is a paradoxical culture we have here. This was not there about 50 years back. This is today's culture is what? The children are killing. Today only I read in the paper that in Philadelphia or somewhere, 2 children killed the mother. Why? Because they were kind. They gave them presents, so they went and killed him. The rape, then the horrible, this child, abuse and all. I really don't understand what they do. All these horrible things are happening in this culture. Is this any culture? And this they call as freedom. This is nothing licentiousness. This is no freedom. It's so destructive. We are having all kinds of diseases, troubles, this, that. So somebody has to stand back from this rat race and see for themselves where are we going. A big shock for us really. If you see the future of these countries, I can't understand what will happen. It's spreading everywhere and coming even to India. You'll be surprised. This culture is coming to India also, all over the world. So one has to understand that it has to be stopped. We have gone too far with it. For that we have to have a culture which is divine. And divine culture is such where you don't do all these things, no question. For such a beautiful divine life, one should really run, but it doesn't happen. I don't know what's the matter with the people in the West, especially here, or Australia. Australia is doing better now, but still, I would say compared to Russia and other Eastern Bloc countries, you are nowhere. Really. It's very surprising. You are nowhere compared to them. And they are, of course, maybe not so rich or anything, but what are these riches? What have they brought us? What is going to bring us? The divine power, the divine laws, the divine wealth. All the Sahajogis have become rich also, you'll be surprised. Everybody in business, in everything they have gained, no doubt, because it helps agriculture, it helps your mind, everything it helps. People have, say in England, every person in Sahaja is employed. Nobody is without job. Even in Australia, same thing. And it happens to everyone because you become a very normal, sensible, intelligent, dignified person and whose brain is enlightened. Naturally, you can do very well, better than others. You drop out all your habits. For drug and all that, I've seen people giving up drugs overnight after realizing. Overnight. How it happens is very simple. That supposing if you have a snake in your hand and there's darkness, you can't see anything. Then suddenly some light comes in. You tell that fellow before that you stop, this is a snake, he won't. He's so adamant till it bites him. But as soon as he sees some light, he drops it. In the same way, you drop out all these destructive things and you get such a power to do it. You see, so many people decide to do it. The other day I read about this fellow, this Nirmala fellow who committed suicide. If he had taken to Sahaja, he would have been so much useful. But they don't. Somehow or other, it doesn't go into their head that we have to be very, very sensible to understand what will do us good, instead of doing something that is absolutely destructive. And the best part of it is that you jump into the ocean of joy, because this power is the ocean of joy. We think there is joy in this, pleasure in this, pleasure. All these pleasures are very temporary. But joy is something which is not happiness and unhappiness. Joy is something which is singular, and you start enjoying that joy. And that joy gives you a kind of a personality which is always joyous, gives joy to others, doesn't trouble anybody, doesn't hate anybody, doesn't ask or sees a thing with greed. There is no lust, there is no greed, and such a person becomes so pure, so beautiful. We have to have that kind of a society everywhere. I hope so that you people would like to have such a society even in New Zealand. You don't have to give up any religion, you don't have to give up your families, your children, go to Himalayas, stand on your heads, nothing of the kind. Here, very comfortably you can get your self-realization. But I have to tell you that this is a collective happening, and you cannot just say, I'm all right, but later on you will come and tell me, Mother, something went wrong with me. So you have to come to the collective. And in the collective you have to learn each and everything free of cost. You become your masters. Once you are masters, no problem. And this then power can help you to go and help others. everybody becomes enlightened and goes, because he cannot keep the light within himself. He has to be. Not in an aggressive way, not in a very way, the way they go on preaching and nothing. You can just raise the kundalini of the people and make them enlightened and change their lives. All the stress and strain and all these things just disappear. It's really wonderful to understand how much there is within us, how glorious we are, and then we understand that we have an identity, that we are working for divine love, that we are using divine love, and we are empowered with it. Then we understand what are we. That's how we understand also that all religions are flowers on the same tree of spirituality. They have plucked it and they are fighting with the dead flowers. We see the integration of everything that is beautiful with the nature, and everything is so surprising that we have everything within us and we don't know. And when you become aware, you are amazed. But amazingly, you don't become egoistical, no. You become extremely humble and beautiful. I hope this works out in New Zealand also. I have come all the way, not only from India, but from Italy and all these places. And I think it will work out for good for all of you. And it will definitely happen to you. Now, only thing I have to tell you, that those who don't want to have realization, I cannot force on them. Because I respect your freedom. If you want, you will have it. If you don't want it, I cannot force. I am sorry. This freedom is given to you by God Almighty, which is to be respected. So if you want your self-realization, it takes hardly 10 to 15 minutes. But if you don't want it, you please leave the hall. That is the best to be fair to other people. Those who do not want it. So I'll give about 1 minute for that. So it is not meant for people who are extremely aggressive, critical type. Though if you just want it from a humble heart, you will get it. Because it is your right, I have said. Just you have to be a humble person that you want to have it. That's all. You don't have to surrender anything, you don't have to give anything, nothing of the kind. As you are, whatever your personality is, you can get this realization and you can feel it. So what happens first is that you feel first, some people feel it on top of their head, a cool breeze coming out of their fontanelle bone area. Then they start wondering, there's an air conditioning maybe, but there's no air conditioning in your head. So just, some people feel it hot, some people feel it cold. You see, no, trust yourself, you must have faith in yourself, that's very important. Then also they feel it on their fingertips, some feel it on their hands. Now how to use this power, that you have to learn. But also you will feel extremely peaceful and you may achieve thoughtless awareness state tonight. So let us try it, and if it works out, it would be a great thing for you and for me also. Also, I know you have questions as usual. But you see, for the last 24 years, I've been facing all kinds of people, and I know how to answer questions. I know, I'm quite an expert. But it's a mental acrobat. We have to go beyond the mind. So what's the use of just now discussing something? But still, if you have some questions, then you can send it over and we'll try to answer them. No mantras to be said, nothing to be said. Don't force your thoughts or anything. Just we'll tell you how it is to be done. Can you come here? We'll show you how you are going to nourish your own centers. So, first of all, if I make a request, humble request to take out shoes, you shouldn't mind it. Some people didn't like that also if I asked them to take the shoes. It's very difficult. Now, please put both the feet apart from each other because these are two powers. Worst are the Americans. They said, if you don't take money, then what is your credibility? I mean, this is the limit of intelligence. Now, as the left and the right side are two powers, we have to put both the feet apart from each other. Now, you have to put the left hand towards me like this, just on your lap, whichever way is comfortable. Keep it on your lap, not to hang them. Now, you have to sit comfortably, not to bend too much or to go backward, but in the center if you sit, it's all right. Now, please put your right hand on your heart. In the heart resides the spirit, which is the reflection of God Almighty. While this Kundalini is the reflection of the primordial mother, she is your individual mother. She has recorded everything about you, she knows about everything about you. And she is anxious to give you a self-realization. Now, if you are the spirit, you become your own master. So take down your right hand in the upper portion of your abdomen. Come forward a little bit, as some people can't see. This is the center of your mastery, which is created by great prophets, seers. Now you have to take your hand down in the lower portion of your abdomen on the left hand side. We are working only on the left hand side. Now this is the center of pure knowledge, pure divine knowledge. It's surprising how it is placed there so low. But later on you will know the reason why it is so. Now you raise your right hand, upper portion of your abdomen, on the left hand side again. Then on your heart. Now then in the corner of your neck and shoulder, this center when it is in jeopardy, then you can get diseases like angina and spondylitis, or maybe also lethargic organs. Now, if you feel guilty, this center goes into trouble. So please turn your head to your right. Now, please take your right hand on top of your forehead across. This is the center where you have to forgive everyone. Now take your right hand on the back side of your head and push back your heads upwards. This is the center where you have to ask forgiveness from the divine power. Now stretch your palm fully. Put the center of your palm on top of the fontanelle bone area, which was a soft bone in your childhood. And put down your head as far as possible. Now here you have to move your scalp. So push back your fingers nicely, put down your head and move your scalp 7 times slowly. Now we'll have to close our eyes later on, I'll tell you. And it's all right, I think. So afterwards, when you close your eyes, I'll tell you what is all to be done the same way. But there are 3 conditions which you have to accept. The first is that, as I told you, that this center is in trouble when you feel guilty. When you feel guilty, see, you don't do anything about it. Only thing you are torturing yourself by feeling guilty. Now, this power, divine love, is the ocean of forgiveness. And whatever mistakes you have committed can be easily dissolved by this ocean, can be easily dissolved. So you don't have to curse yourself to feel guilty, but on the contrary, you must forgive yourself fully. At this moment, none of you are guilty of anything. Please forgive yourself fully. It's very important. And as I told you, it causes diseases. So no use having the guilt upon yourself. This guilt is built because I don't know why people do not face the mistakes when they commit and finish it off. But they carry on for all their lives. So please try to forgive yourself, to begin with, to forgive. Then another condition is that you have to forgive everyone. Now, people say it's a bit difficult to forgive everyone. How can we forgive? But whether you forgive or don't forgive, you don't do anything. What do? Do nothing. So, when you don't forgive, then you play into wrong hands. Moreover, the center here is like this. It's absolutely the optic chiasma. And it's closed like that. It's very, very difficult for Kundalini to pass through. But if you forgive, it opens out like that. So all your life you tortured yourself with some sort of a anger or hatred or maybe feeling of hurt. But now is the time that you forgive everyone. Forgive everyone so that you don't miss this great opportunity of getting your self-realization. It's a myth. Try to understand it's a myth. That the third condition is that you have to be absolutely self-confident that you are all going to get your self-realization. Absolutely confident. Now don't think I've committed this sin, that sin, all that nonsense I don't believe in. As far as you are concerned, you are seekers of truth and you have every right to get your realization, no doubt. So please have full confidence. Now you might have been to some guru, something, forget it. It will all work out, I am sure, if you once have full faith that I must get to my self-realization. Now, so it's all right, I think it will do. You put the left hand towards me now, right hand on the heart. If you want, you can take out your spectacles because now you have to close your eyes till I tell you don't have to open them. It might help your eyesight also. So, now please close your eyes. Not very tightly, and till I tell you, please don't open your eyes. Please put your right hand on your heart. Here, you have to ask me a very fundamental question about yourself. 3 questions, 3 times. 3 times you have to ask. You can call me Mother, or you can call me Shri Mataji, whatever you like. So ask a question, Mother, am I the spirit? Please ask this question in your heart 3 times. Mother, am I the spirit? All right. You are the spirit, then you are your master. So now please take your right hand on top of your center, which is placed in the upper portion of your abdomen on the left hand side. Now press it there. And ask another fundamental question, Mother, am I my own master? Ask this question 3 times. Mother, am I my own master? Ask this question 3 times. All right. I have already told you that I respect your freedom and I cannot force pure divine knowledge on you. You have to ask for it. So take your right hand in the lower portion of your abdomen on the left hand side And here you have to ask 6 times, because this center has got 6 petals. Mother, please give me pure divine knowledge. Ask 6 times. Mother, please give me pure divine knowledge. As soon as you ask this question, the Kundalini starts rising. So now we have to nourish the higher centers with our self-confidence. Raise your right hand in the upper portion of your abdomen on the left hand side. Here you have to say with full self-confidence 10 times, Mother, I am my own master. Please say this 10 times with full confidence. I have already told you at the very outset that you are not this body, this mind, these emotions, this intelligence, this ego and conditionings, but you are the pure spirit. So now raise your right hand on the left hand side on your heart, and here you have to say with full confidence again 12 times, Mother, I am the pure spirit. Mother, I am the pure spirit. Please say this 12 times. I have told you that this all-pervading power is the ocean of knowledge, ocean of compassion, ocean of bliss. But above all, it is the ocean of forgiveness, and whatever mistakes you have committed can be easily dissolved by it. So please forgive yourself and put your right hand in the corner of your neck and your shoulder and turn your head to your right. Here you have to say again with full confidence 16 times. Mother, I am not guilty at all. Please say this. Mother, I am not guilty at all. Please say it 16 times. I have already explained that whether you forgive or you don't forgive, you don't do anything. But if you don't forgive, then you play into wrong hands. And at this moment especially, you should forgive so that this Agya Chakra, which is a very constricted center, will open out. So, here, now you put your right hand on top of your forehead and put it down. Put it down, put down your head, please. Here you have to say, not how many times, but from your heart you have to say, Mother, I forgive everyone. And don't think about the people whom you have to forgive. Just say, Mother, I forgive everyone in general. Don't think about them. I find this is the most constricted center here. Please forgive. Otherwise you will miss the point. From your heart, just say. Alright. Now please take your right hand on the back side of your head and push back your head. This is the center where you have to ask forgiveness from the divine power, without feeling guilty, without counting your mistakes, just for your satisfaction. So here you say, again from the heart, not how many times, O divine power, please forgive me if I have done anything wrong, knowingly or unknowingly. O divine power, please forgive me if I have done anything wrong, knowingly or unknowingly. Say it from your heart, not how many times is not the point. Now, stretch your palm fully and put it, the center of your palm, on the fontanelle bone area, which was a soft bone in your childhood. Now press back your fingers as far as possible. And with the pressure, move your scalp. But before doing that, please put down your head. Now here, again, I cannot force self-realization on you. You have to ask for it. So move your hand so that you move the scalp well with a pressure, saying 7 times, Mother, please give me self-realization. Move it clockwise, slowly. Push back your fingers, push back your fingers. Now take down your hands and slowly open your eyes, please. Now put both the hands towards me like this, like that. Now please put down your head and see for yourself with the with the left hand first. See with the left hand if there's a cool or a hot breeze coming out of your fontanelle bone area. It may be very close to your head, but it should be above, not on top. Your hand should be above. Please bend your head. Or some people get it very far also. Whichever way you move your hand and see for yourself. Now, please put the left hand towards me. You have to bend your head, otherwise it doesn't show well. Please put the left hand towards me and put down your head and see if there's a cool or a hot breeze-like sensation or energy coming out of your head. Just see yourself. Put down your hand, put down, otherwise you won't feel it. Now, please put the right hand. Again, if you have not forgiven, it would be very hot. So please forgive. Now, bend your head again and forgive. And see if there's a cool breeze or a hot breeze coming out of your fontanelle bone area. You must bend your head, otherwise you won't feel it. Bend it. Bend your head. Now raise both your hands upward like this. Push back your head as far as possible. Here ask another question. You can ask any one of these questions 3 times. Mother, is this the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost? Or, Mother, is this the all-pervading power of divine love? Or, Mother, is this the Ru or Parama Chaitanya? Ask any one of these questions 3 times. Names are different of the same thing. 3 times. Now bring down your hand. Now put your hands towards me like this. And just watch me without thinking. Just watch me without thinking. You can do it. All those who have felt cool or hot breeze, either on the fingertips or on the hands or out of the fontanelle bone area, please raise both your hands. My God, may God bless you. May God bless you. All the New Zealand people, may God bless you. I bow to you. Now enjoy the peace, enjoy yourself, and try to forgive everyone. It's very important that if you don't forgive, again it will become heated up. So just try to forgive. It will help you a lot. Later on, there will be, a follow-on. Here you can meet these people. I'm going away now, and I'm always here after 1 year. But I am sure you all will grow now like big trees of Sahaja, supporting, helping others. So please remember that you have to grow. Otherwise you will be like the parable of Christ, that some seeds sprouted and fell on the rocks. So what we have to do is to make it grow. It's all your own. You will find your eyes sparkling. You will find the cool breeze coming out of your head and also coming out of other people. So you can now understand it. You have to just learn how to give realization. Maybe 1 or 2 people didn't get it. I think doesn't matter. They should all come and get it. We have very humble things. We don't have very elaborate palaces for meditation or anything. There they will tell you how to fix this connection, because the connection sometimes becomes also loose. So they will tell you. Any problem, anything, they will tell you what is to be done, how to solve it. Moreover, you can always write to me, always, directly. May God bless you. Thank you very much. We'll have one song after this and you all clap. Then clapping will create more vibrations, you will see, and you will feel much better. You tell them the follow.
There's information sheets at the back of the hall. You're welcome to stay for a cup of tea afterwards. And there's also a display outside which has a lot of the information that Shri Mataji's talked about tonight going over. So there's going to be follow-up programs to this talk tonight, and there's going to be one on Saturday at the Mayfield Community Centre over on the North Shore. There's also one at the Knox Community Centre in Parnell. The centre for Sahaja Yoga is at 24 Pukanui Road, which is in Epsom, and we have run classes there on a Monday morning and on a Monday evening and also on a Tuesday evening, and you're welcome to attend. As Shri Mataji referred to, there's no charge for Sahaja Yoga. It's your right.
They are going to sing a special song which was composed about 16th century in India by a tailor. See, sometimes I find it difficult to translate. He was a tailor saint, and he has composed this which tells, which sings that, "Oh Mother, give me the yoga, jogwa they call it in the village." And he says that I have done this, I have done that, I want to give up all that is bad, but you give me the jogwa. And you raise my kundalini, which is called as Amba. So please raise it. And that's why he is asking that please raise it. It's a very beautiful song. All of Indian villagers are singing, but they don't know what they are singing. They just sing. You see. But now these boys, when they went to India, they talked to the villagers, got the song, and in their way they are going to sing. It is very remarkable also, because for Western people to sing Indian song is not an easy thing. Even to say few words was difficult. I don't know how they have picked it up so well. Not only the music, but also the whole rhythm and everything so beautifully that any Indian who would listen from outside won't believe that they are singing. They sing Sanskrit, Marathi, which is a very difficult language, Hindi, all kinds of things. Now this song is in Marathi. It's extremely remarkable, and in India so many musicians have fallen to their feet. They said, how did they do it? We can't understand. You have to clap it with it, it will be better.
Mataji, Marina Milmarari, Una Mataji, Marina Milmarari, Asha Manishaja, Marina Milmarari, Asha Manishaja, Marina Milmarari, Mano Vitara, Karina Kurvandi, Mano Vitara, Karina Kurvandi, Amrutara Sachi, Marina Milmarari, Amrutara Sachi, Marina Milmarari, Amrutara Sachi, Jogwa Magena, Isha Jogwa, Jogwa Magena, Isha Jogwa, Jogwa Magena, Isha Jogwa, Jogwa Magena, Isha Jogwa. Ayude gambe ude, oh, ayude gambe ude, ayude gambe ude, oh, ayude gambe ude, 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 oh. Atta sazani, zalimini shanga, Atta sazani, zalimini shanga, Dikalpana uyatva, soriela sanga, Dikalpana uyatva, soriela sanga, Kama kruda he, soriele manga, Kama kruda he, soriele manga, Kila mukala maga suranga, Kila mukala maga suranga, Kila mukala Jogwa magena isha jogwa, Jogwa magena isha jogwa, Jogwa magena isha jogwa, Jogwa magena isha jogwa. Ayude gambe ude, oh, ayude gambe ude, ayude gambe ude, oh, ayude gambe ude, 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 oh. Aisa jogawa maburi devila, Aisa jogawa maburi devila, Zauni mahadwari nawasya devila, Zauni mahadwari nawasya devila, Eka janani eka jadikila, Eka janani eka jadikila, Janma marasa fera yachuvila, Janma marasa fera yachuvila, Janma marasa Jogwa magena isha jogwa, Jogwa magena isha jogwa, Jogwa magena isha jogwa, Jogwa magena isha jogwa. Ayude gambe ude, oh, ayude gambe ude, ayude gambe ude, oh, ayude gambe ude, 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 oh.
Now just feel it. Now feel your vibrations. Just please put your hands and see. They have increased. Like this a little bit. Open. All right? May God bless you. Thank you.